All right, good evening, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, getting prepped for tomorrow's second preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Once again, this is CB, Who That Nation. Glad to see you all tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting to the comment section. I see JT in the building. JT said, "Blessing CB." Who that to you, JT? Glad to see you in the building tonight. I see the OG Jerry Poole in the building. Said WDN chat line. Who that, Jerry? Welcome as always. Uh, Glad to have you guys. So tonight's show. First off, I've been away for about a little over a week. Had some things to sort out, personal life, but anyways, I'm glad to be back on talking to you guys, Who That Nation. But what I want to do tonight, since I didn't recap the first preseason game, I'm gonna run through it, my thoughts. I'm not gonna stay on that because we passed that and we're about to play another preseason game. But I'm gonna give my quick thoughts on that first preseason game, and then, as you guys know, what we're doing during this training camp period. Preseason is still training camp to me. For me, training camp runs all the way up until the finale of the preseason game. So during this time period, we just every show we're gonna pick four random players, and then we're gonna discuss their role this season. So I will let you guys know the four players we have tonight. Uh, Matter of fact, if you just look on the thumbnail, that'll be the guys. But I will present them to you all, and then we'll discuss about them later in the show. And then after that, just gonna get into what I'm expecting to see tomorrow and what names I want to stand out. So that's gonna be tonight's show. Won't be a very long show, so we can go ahead and get started. Um, just recapping last week's game. Before I even get to the QB battle, because that's the hot topic, as you guys know, I'm gonna just go ahead and give you my standouts, and then I'm gonna chirp on each one. As you know, the big play of the game by Mason Tipton. Mason Tipton, um, this is a guy that has been up and coming. We done discussed him before. Who That Nation? We know this guy has been a name that's been ringing bells in training camp. Ron Bells last year wasn't able to stay healthy. Back this year, ringing bells. So what this tells me is that this guy might really be like that, but he just got to stay healthy. And he made a big splash play last week. Good way to capitalize on that play. So with Mason Tipton behind Brandon Cooks, to me is wide open because Brandon Cooks is our third receiver. Beyond Brandon Cooks, it's wide open to me. And then who knows? I mean, if you keep balling and Brandon, he 31. I'm not gonna start no debate or not like that. I got him as our third receiver, but I'm saying with you being young, if you keep on grinding and eating, down the road, maybe later on this season, you can creep into possibly taking some snaps from him. But that's what needs to happen. Brandon Cook, 31 years old. So yeah, it would be nice to see a young, hungry receiver develop into our third receiver. You can't run out of receivers. You look at Kansas City, you got so many receivers. You got no names just getting in there catching the ball. So the New Orleans Saints, that's what we need to develop. We just can't look at Shaheed, and Olave and just say we got a good 1-2 punch. But what about beyond them? And then at that, we know the situation with Olave. Can he stay healthy this year? Should he coming off of ACL? Will this continue to be a trend? I'm praying to God not, but we'll see. Okay, I see RG Scott in the building. Said, "What's up, WDN? Who that? Who that to you?" RG Scott, glad to see you in the building. But yes, Mason Tempton, like I said, not gonna go too much because it was last week. But he That was the splash play of the game. It was obvious, but shout out to Macy Tempter, man. Kelvin Banks, quietly, quietly, this guy was really putting that pain in out there. I don't know if they had their first stream in. I doubt it. No, they didn't have their first stream. Joey Bosa and them was not out there, but it doesn't matter. Kelvin Banks was still getting some good work in. Um, he didn't give up no pressures at all. So he had zero pressures, and that's good. That's good for Kelvin Banks because he's gonna be on our QB1 blind side. So we need a good left tackle to develop in the Who Dat Nation. Fuaka gonna be on the right side, so we need another stud to be able to block our QB's blind side. So hopefully Kelvin Banks can continue to pick it up and get better and better. But definitely one hell of a outing. What a way to start your career, um, even if it's preseason. So just continue to build on that, and hopefully we get good things from you. Kendre Miller was another standout. These is obvious standouts. Kendre Miller, as you can see, the type of burst and stuff he displayed in the stat column, really didn't show too well in the stat column. I'm gonna get into the O line in a minute, the backup O line, but as you can see, for the ones that really see the vision and you can see the game, you see Kendra had a pep in his step, but like I said on the last show, because he was one of the four random guys that was talked about, the guy got to stay healthy. If he can't stay healthy, um, he can do all of that, but what good is it being to use if the guy does that and then he tweaks the hamstring again? Because it's all been just his hamstring. So until you show me you can stay healthy, I'm gonna keep that same energy. But what you did last week, preseason, you showed that you had the potential, that you got potential to be a very good complement to Kamara. And then, in that backfield, really, I'm not sure the status on Devin Neal. If y'all know the status, man, y'all can put it in the comments, but I'm not sure the update on him, how long he's still going. Is he playing tomorrow or is he still rehabbing? I'm not sure, but I'm really eager to see what he can provide, and I'm hoping that injury doesn't linger throughout the whole preseason because um we really won't be able to get a little sample size of our rookie running back. But yeah, like I said with Kendre Miller, he showed the pep in his step. If he stay healthy, man, he can be a good service to AK. But he just gotta stay healthy, man. So, but shout out to him, man. He showed some good bursts. We're gonna go to Christian Boyd. Christian Boyd, the reason I'm excited about this is because at the defensive tackle, that nose position, and I understand there's backups and stuff, but my thing is, and how this is set up, how our roster is set up, it's only a few positions that's a guaranteed lock. But the defensive tackle is names really written on that position yet? Playing the nose tackle. And I'm not saying Christian Boyd about to be starting. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. No name is set in stone in my view. No name is set in stone at that nose tackle position. Christian Boyd, I'm glad I was able to see some good interior play. You had a sack, but you was also causing some pressure. Think you had a tackle for loss as well. You was involved in some tackles, so it wasn't just the one safety sack. No, you was involved. So Christian Boyd, man, I'm looking forward to seeing more this week. Just continue the trend. Depth doesn't hurt at all. So get your name, make your name ring bells, and get on up in that depth chart to where you seeing rotation or who knows? Sky's the limit for you. But shout out to you. Fidel Diggs. This was what our next to last draft pick of the draft. DN out of Syracuse, defensive end. I'm gonna get into a particular guy in a minute, and this not even gonna pertain to really the preseason game, even though he was involved. But I just say this for Deal Diggs. Just keep grinding, keep coming out, working hard. You was able to make a impact in the game, not a crazy impact, but you got a tackle for loss and you got a sack. A tackle for loss and a sack, man. That's a pretty good impact in the game. So just keep showing what you can do, man. Just keep making impact plays, and it's a guy that you can possibly get off this roster. But like I said, that guy is most likely going to be off the roster anyway, regardless of how you pan out. But these new guys, who that nation, like we gotta encourage this. The ones that's making the plays, the unknown, we gotta encourage these guys to step up. Because what is our depth looking like? I mean, we keeping it all the way high. What is our depth chart looking like beyond the first string? So these positions, man, this is good stuff right here. Isaiah Stallbird is another guy. Is another guy that stood out. He made some tackles on special teams and defense. And that pretty much wraps it up. Cedric Wilson had some good plays, but I'm not talking about veteran players, man. I'm talking about um the new guys, the rookies that had impact on their plays. I mean, on the game. So that wraps up my quick thoughts on the preseason. Just wanted to give some shout outs to those guys. But one particular name I want to talk about is Isaiah Foskey. Isaiah Foskey, from what I've seen, I know he played the first 2 to 3 quarters. He was out there first 2 to 3 quarters. What I think happened this game is that they gave this man an opportunity, all the opportunity to show them something. Like, okay, with you get you this is a defense. In Notre Dame, you came from a 3-4 defense. I don't know what Dennis seen in you to come to to his 4-2-6 defense, but that's neither here or there. But anyway, the defense that you dominated in, the system, the running the 3-4, you're back in this system. You was given a opportunity to go out there and show us something, make some type of play. You didn't make no. To my understanding, you didn't have one single tackle in 3 quarters. And let's keep it real. By halftime, going into the third quarter, you playing your rookies and like it's rookie time and stuff. Then I think the team is carrying what about 80 something players right now, somewhere 70, 80. So the back end of the team is playing during those times, and you tell me you couldn't make some type of impact. I just think like I said, you still young, man. So I ain't gonna just write you out career wise, but I just think your time as a Saint is coming to an end, and I won't be surprised if you don't make the 53-man roster. I can't see you making it, and that's just being honest, because you had a lot at stake right there. I believe Kellen put you out there, and he gave you all this opportunity to show him something, and you didn't show him nothing. You didn't show us nothing. So it just ain't there. Could you be a late bloomer? You could, but I mean, at this point right now, it just ain't working out. Then you allow Fadil Diggs, a rookie out of Syracuse, to come in and making a sack tackle for loss. So yeah, things ain't looking good for you right now. But We'll see what happens with that. And then the backup offensive line. This is man, the offensive line. This position was one of the last positions that I thought I would be talking about. And I'm not just talking about the starters. When you talk about the offensive line, from the starting five to the backup five, I thought we had one of the tops in the league. And I'm talking about just far as depth. Because we got our starting five out there. You tell me we got Will Clapp. I know Will Clapp on our. I'll get to him in a minute. But I'm just saying, going into that, you had Will Clapp. You got Dylan Randers. I think he was a starter for the Titans last year. So you had two solid guys like that could provide some backup, to the offensive line. And this other guys, but these was two names that I expected to be, some solid backup, a solid backup pieces. But anyway, the offensive line got in there, getting their butts whipped. Not everybody, because Banks was out there, but getting their butts whipped. Couldn't run the ball for nothing. And Rattler, I mean, he wasn't running for his life, but he didn't have the most time either. But hopefully that gets better. But yeah, definitely the O line play. This is the position depth wise. I thought we had us a hitter, a home run hitter on this position. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But that's that with the offensive line, the backup. They got to do better this game. Show us that y'all can be counted upon if guys go down. We have Cesar Ruiz on the line. I'm gonna get into him. He's one of the random fours, just because I said his name. He in and out the lineup. You got McCoy. The past 2 seasons he done dealt with an injury that kept him out for some time. That's why I hate Will Clapp out for the season. That would have been a solid backup piece, even though he didn't play very good up until he got hurt. Dylan Randus, solid. I thought he, gonna be a solid guard piece. He still might, but he definitely didn't show it in this preseason game. So we'll see, man. We'll see what it's looking like. But I'm gonna move on to the latest Saints injuries. The latest Saints injuries, as you guys know about Trevor Penner. Trevor Penner got hurt in the preseason game. He's still out to my knowledge. I don't think he's playing tomorrow, but he's not dealing with nothing that's gonna keep him out for a significant amount of time. Then we go to Will Clapp. I just talked about Will Clapp, Les French injury. He's out for the season. So very disappointing news to hear about that. Hopefully we go in the free agent pool, or once the preseason end and cuts and stuff start happening, hopefully it can be a one or two good vet offensive linemen that we can pick up, so that we can, just have depth on that offensive line. Because let's just keep it all the way high. We dealing with whoever win the start spot, they they are a young QB. Spencer Rattler's his second year, he's still considered a freshly new QB. And then show freshly new QB. And then given the history on particular guys on the offensive line, you want to have some solid backup, man. So hopefully they look into that. I see Miss Dana is in the building. Who that family? Who that to you, Miss Dana G? Welcome to the show. Miss Dana, I was just recapping, giving my little quick thoughts on the last preseason game. Since I wasn't able to recap it, and then um, now I'm talking about the latest Saints injuries. Devin Neal, y'all know he was out before the preseason started. He's nursing an injury. I just hope that And like I said, I don't know the status on him. I just hope he can play before this preseason over. And if he's playing tomorrow, that's going to be exciting news for me. I can't wait to see that. Bud Means was another wide receiver. Um, I'm not gonna say that he was up and coming, but he definitely was going to get the opportunity to showcase himself. Last season he was I think him and Rattler was kind of getting a little chemistry going there when he was playing, but young receiver. I don't forgot exactly what injury it was. I'm not sure if it was an ACL or whatever, but he's done for the season. So we'll see what's good with him in the 2026 season. Okay, so now what we're gonna get into, who that nation, we're gonna get into the four random picks. So tonight's four random picks is gonna be Cesar Ruiz, Charlie Smith, Quincy Riley, and Kool-Aid. And the discussion topic for the night is what role do these guys play this season? So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Cesar Ruiz. Cesar Ruiz, obviously, we know that he's gonna be at right guard. Now, what's my expectations of Cesar Ruiz? Cesar Ruiz, he needs to stay healthy this season. And I was highly discouraged from the play of the backup offensive line. So if one position needs to stay healthy, in my opinion, it needs to be the offensive line. You got paid the big bucks, Ruiz, so you got to be holding your own. You can't be out there getting your butt kicked or anything, man. So you got to step it up, play on the contract that you was paid, play to that level. We shouldn't be calling you out and stuff in these games or none of that. So really, his role, we know he's starting. He just basically got to play up to what he was paid. So that's really my takeaway from Cesar Ruiz. And stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Charlie Smith. I'm gonna call him Charlie Smith. So this is a very interesting name. Either last season or the start of the off season, Charlie Smith. It was this season. Charlie Smith was signed to a 2-year deal. So he has a 2-year deal through the 2027 season. Now, kicker contracts, you can kind of play around and you really ain't eating no cap like that unless you one of the top kickers in the league. But anyway, this guy has gotten into an interesting situation. This competition between him and Blake Groupie, I mean, to me, it was news to me because I didn't know that this position they was really having a low key competition. I knew the punter position was having a competition, but this is a real interesting situation right here. So he's in a competition with Blake Groupie, and we'll see how that plays out. I know he booted a 50-yard field goal last week in the preseason game. So I do know that this was before training camp started. I think all the kickers, well, it was a lot of the kickers from all the NFL teams. They had some type of kicker camp or anything, and they had a competition, and Charlie Smith beat out all of them. I remember Nick Underhill had posted something like that. That Charlie Smith had beat up all the kickers that was at that little camp. So with him putting out that news, that kind of just drove my attention because I wasn't expecting Blake Gruber to be in the kicker competition. And to be honest, I mean Blake Grupe, he hasn't been bad. So to me, Blake Grupe has been pretty good. I mean, they all gonna have their game or two or a couple of games where they might shank one or something like that. But I mean, he wasn't bad. So, but Kellen Moore, he's in and he likes this guy. He likes this guy enough to put him in a competition with Blake Groupie. And like I said, I don't know who winning the competition. I think it's Blake Groupies to lose, in my opinion. But the other year ago, 2 years ago, Blake Groupie came in and he ran old boy out of town. So hey, just whoever got the hot hand, we just need production as always at that position. And you see Hayball just got released. And that was our starting punter. He got released because he was losing the punter competition. So Kellen, he coming in, man. He like I know we see the calm Kellen Moore and stuff. We don't know Kellen Moore. Just because we see him and he looking, nice in the camera and he kind of look like he got a chill. Like he putting these guys, he holding their everybody accountable for the most part. Like I said, it's only a few guys that has their name written down in some of these roster spots. It's only a few guys, in my opinion, but he's holding everybody accountable and he's opening up competition. Cause I had no idea that as far as the punter, I mean, our punter really wasn't hitting on too much, to be honest. He wasn't. That was the Australian guy that Da had brought in. He done good with Blake Groupie, but with some people, when you do one thing, man, you do that and then you just chill for a little bit. But a lot of coaches and stuff, they try to outsmart themselves and get into a situation like this. But anyway, he got beat out in the punter competition, and the punter competition is still going on. So it's no clear name that's winning the competition or going to win. But I just know Hayball is out the door. So and then that was a position that I wasn't expecting a competition from. This kicker position is not a position that I was expecting a competition from. So Charlie Smith, I do know he's under contract. So we'll see. If he boot another 50 yarder, they might roll with him. But we'll see, man. But as far as his role, it remains to be seen. But if he lose the competition, I'm pretty sure it might be another team that take a chance on him. So we'll see. Next is Quincy Riley. Quincy Riley. And I'm just using my eye test. I'm not, going by other people's takes and stuff. It was some people takes they were saying, he was making plays and stuff like that in this preseason game. I'm gonna be honest, unless I missed something, I really didn't see him making no impact plays. I'll leave it at that. Then maybe he was in on some tackles and stuff like that. But as far as an impact play, and you guys can comment in the comment if y'all seen different, but I really didn't see too much from Quincy Riley as far as making, and what I mean impact play, I ain't talking about creating turnovers and I mean I am talking about that, but I'm not talking about that's the only thing a player has to do to get praise is to make the big plays. No, what I mean by impact play, I'm talking about that, but I'm also talking about being involved in some tackles, having a few tackles, maybe a pass breakup here or there, it's just something like that. I didn't see that, but like I said, my eye test, I probably missed something because there was a lot that I was looking at when I was watching the film anyway. But Quincy Riley, I'm pretty sure he gonna get his chance tomorrow. He's gonna get a lot of reps, hopefully. And I'm praying this guy, you know, makes an impact in tomorrow's game and just continue to grow. Do I see him his role, Quincy Riley Rowe? Do I see him being a starter? I don't see him being a starter unless he just come out these last two preseason games and he just pit sits or pit pick. He just shut some. I mean, he gotta do something crazy like that for him to get in the starter QB discussion. But I do. He's of course he's gonna make the 53. Will he get in on some rotational pieces? It remains to be seen how he plays out in the preseason and during practice. But shout out to him, man. We'll see what happens with him. And last but not least is Kool-Aid. 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 Who that nation is Kool-Aid McKinstry gonna be our number one QB? What y'all think? Do y'all think Kool-Aid gonna be our number one QB? Or is it gonna be Alante? I think that I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna just say Kool-Aid is gonna be our number two QB. I think they gonna be. I think they're gonna let Alante be on the outside, number one, traveling the QBs. And I'm speaking that I want Alante to get that smoke. I want him to get that smoke. So I think Alante gonna be our number one. The role for Kool-Aid is being a number two. Throughout training camp, Kool-Aid has been balling. His name has been ringing bells throughout training camp. He's been balling his butt off. So, can't knock against that. He just needs to stay healthy. They saying, he playing with a lot of swag and all of that. That's good and dandy. But, this is year two. You know the position we're in at QB. Really Alante, and then how we gonna fill out? How we gonna fill out at the QB position? I mean, Kool-Aid, we saying Kool-Aid. That he happened showing up during training camp. So just continue playing, and you should be our number two QB unless something changes. Like I said, Quincy, it's not over for him. His name, he could just start showing out, and he insert himself as the number two. We don't know who gonna be our nickel. It's a lot of questions at that position for me. And I'm putting Alante number one, but they may see him as the nickelback. But if you put him at the nickelback, then who gonna be opposite Kool-Aid? Do you put the vet out there? Do you put Isaac Yiadom out there on the other side? Just a lot of questions. Did you start a vet, that deep into the game, or do you want to, put your two young boys out there? Alante, he's still considered a young boy. So just a lot of questions. But those are the four guys that was randomly picked out um that was going to get discussed tonight. And once again, as the shows goes on, we're gonna pick out four more for next show, and then we're gonna talk about them. To me, I feel like that's a good way to just get around the team in a quick way instead of talking about the Shaheeds and the Laves and the AK, the Mario. We know I have an expectation for those guys. If it's anybody that may be showing deep signs of decline, is the Mario, and then Olave got to stay healthy. Just a few questions with them, but when they're healthy, it's really no type of concern or doubt with those guys. But what I want to be talking about is the supporting cast they're supposed to support these guys. That's going to determine the W versus the L, not just a few positions like I just named out. We talk about Shaheed and Olave. Who gonna throw the man the ball though? That's what we're trying to figure out now. Who gonna throw these guys the ball? So And the last topic, man, before I wrap this up, like I said, wasn't gonna be too long of a show tonight. Um, the phone lines will be open up on recapping tomorrow's preseason game. I'll get into whether I'm gonna be on tomorrow Monday, but you guys will definitely get a chance to get on the line and talk to me in Uptown. So the last topic I want to get on was just previewing the matchup. And I mean by previewing the matchup, these is a list of names that I want to see make an impact tomorrow. As far as the QB competition, I didn't touch that at all. So let me just go ahead and touch that. So that's the most interesting topic because the QB, when you talk about a football team, your QB is basically the overseer, the head person of the team, and then that follows. So we gotta find out who our commander in chief gonna be of the offense. And we still in that situation. I'm gonna start with Spencer. Spencer, to me, he didn't play bad, but he didn't play great. So it was kind of like, he played good. So if I was to give him a grade, I'd give him a C because he didn't make any he didn't make any tough throws, or he didn't take a chance downfield. He didn't do none of that. Now with that being said, he didn't have a lot of time to do all of that anyway. So once again, like I said, with the offensive line, they really didn't, help his case anyway. But yes, I didn't see nothing that showed me from Spencer last week. Like, yeah, Spencer, I feel like he that guy. I really didn't see anything. It was just a lot of safe throws. A lot of combat routes and tossing it to the running back, little dump pass to the running back, little safe throws. Now when Shook got in there, Shook, yes, he threw that 50-yard bomb to Mason Tipton, but he also threw another pass. He threw another deep ball pass. So it's kind of like Shook, he liked to challenge the DBs. That's kind of what I say. He liked to challenge the DBs. He liked to give his receiver, a ball to go get, and he trusts his receiver. Not saying Spencer don't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying with Spencer, I didn't see that in the Chargers game. I didn't see that aggressiveness that Shuck displayed. So to me, it wasn't just the 50-yard TD pass. Yeah, it was a blown coverage on defense. So yeah, anybody would have took that shot. Now, would the pass been completed? Would it been accurate or not? Oh, that's a whole nother question. But if Spencer was in there that play, I'm pretty sure he would have took that shot too. But Shuck also he threw another deep pass downfield. So what I want to see from Spencer tomorrow is for him to make more aggressive throws, be more aggressive, and with Shuck too. As far as who's winning the battle and stuff like that, far as training camp practices, Spencer definitely he's been winning that. But if you had to pick one from the Chargers game, you gotta slightly give it to Shuck. You slightly gotta give it to him because, like I said, with me, he was more aggressive with the football than Spencer was. Well, we got tomorrow. The question of the day. The question of the day is: will we have a QB1 after tomorrow's game? It depends. I'm gonna be honest. Is it smart? Will it be smart to have a QB1 going into next week, or by mid to end next week, the latest? I believe it's a very smart idea to go ahead and have one. And to be honest, just speaking on business terms, man, Kellen Moore gonna say the right thing. Kellen Moore went out there and drafted Tyler Shuck. Yeah, if Kellen Moore was here last year and Spencer was there in the fifth, would Kellen Moore have still picked Spencer? Like, just say the draft fell the way it did, and Spencer was right there in the fifth. Would Kellen Moore would he have took Spencer? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but I do know he took a chance on Shuck over a Shador Sanders that was technically graded higher than Shuck coming out of college. So with that being said, low key, deep down inside, Kellen Moore wants Shuck to win the position. He wants Shuck to win the position, but at the same time, you gotta put what you want to the side and let it be what's best for the team. So what's best for the team was to make it a competition and make the best man win. That's the only way you can do it. But as far as a want, yeah, you went out and got your QB and Tyler Shuck. Yeah, you want him to win. But I'm glad you done it the right way instead of just throwing them out there instead of giving Spencer Rattler a fair shot at it. But technically, all the QBs you gave them a fair shot at getting the spot. So that's a smart move. You put business to the side. Because Tyler Shuck, his situation, yeah, you look at it from a business standpoint, he got a fully guaranteed contract. So yeah, you wanna have him on the field at some point, but at the same time, you just don't want to throw nobody on the field that got beat out by the guy that's already on the team. So, like I said, that was a good smart move by Kellen Moore. He made it a competition. Competition still going on, and will Shuck become QB1? We'll see. He letting it ride out, but I will say this: if both QBs play the same way as they did the first preseason game, let's say Rattlers play the exact same way as the first preseason game, and then Shuck play the exact same way as the first preseason game. Maybe not throw a touchdown, but complete a few deep balls. Tyler Shuck is going to win the QB competition. They're going to give it to Shuck. Just really, Spencer he didn't show anything in that preseason game that you can say, oh yeah, it's a separation or it's a huge separation. You can't say nothing from that game that says Spencer Rattler is separated from Tyler Shuck. Now, yeah, you can say that in practice, but when it's game time, man, it's a whole nother beast. And for the ones that play sports know that it's a whole type of time you want, different type of time when it's for real. Even though the score ain't for real, it's a scrimmage. But when them pads on, it's real. So we'll see what happens. But Spencer, he definitely gonna have to play. He definitely going to be more aggressive. He definitely going to be more aggressive than the first preseason game. I see Rose City in the building said, "Who that CB?" Shout out to you, Rose City. Who that to you, fam? Okay, so like I said, that was pretty much it with the QB competition. My thoughts on it. I do want to have a QB1. They're not gonna say nothing after tomorrow's game, but we do need to have a QB1 going into late next week, latest. Just the whole thing is about chemistry. You want your QB1? Okay, we're gonna go with Shuck. Shuck now Shuck can get all the plays in practice with the ones. Start building that chemistry. Because if you let this thing linger on into week one and you decide to start her, where's the chemistry at? So hopefully Kellen Moore makes a smart decision and go ahead and get that QB1. And it is what it is. This right here, Rattler already knew the position he was in. He going into training camp, you knew that Tyler Shutt signed a fully guaranteed contract. So in order to win this competition, you was going to have to separate yourself. Not saying a landslide, but you was going to have to separate yourself to say, yeah, it's a difference. He right here and Shuck right here. But that preseason game, it didn't show that. The practices, yeah, the talk was like, it was Spencer was separating himself. But when it's time to pop and hit, I didn't see it. I didn't see it this game. But we got tomorrow. We're gonna see what's up. So may the best man win. I don't have no particular who I want to win the job. I just know the front office, when it comes to the business side of it, the business is going to Tyler Shuck's favorite. The business side of it is in Shuck's favor. Is in his favor, Shuck. So we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, the names that I would like to make plays. Obviously, I want both QBs making plays. I want to hear Vernon Brockton's name. I really didn't hear him the first game. Really hadn't been hearing too much of him doing camp. So I would like to hear his name. I want to see some more Mason Tipton. Mason Tipton, man, just keep making them plays. I want to see more of him. I want to see more of Jonas Sanker. Jonas Sanker, he made a nice play. I remember him making a nice play and I watched the film. I would like to see more from him. I would like to hear his name because right now you're going up against basically guys that's just as good or you may be a little bit better. You're not going up against the starters. More Quincy Riley, absolutely. I want to hear his name this game. Either hear his name this game or you making it you making it to where your QB don't want to where the opposing QB don't want to throw to your side. It got to be one of those areas to whether you start showing it in the stat sheet or whether you showing it in eyesight. I'm talking about eyesight to where the receiver, the QB don't want to throw to you because he could possibly get deflected or intercepted. And then last but not least, I want to see better offensive line play from the backups. We got to have a better game offensive line. Much better game this tomorrow. I'm gonna be tuned in. Who That Nation, that wraps up tonight's show. Like I said, I just wanted to do a recap. I hadn't been on in a week, so I just wanted to refresh and give my thoughts on what's going on lately. As far as what practice news, really not too much going on. But I do hope to see. Hopefully, Devin Neal is playing tomorrow. I doubt it because I hadn't been hearing too much on him, other than him being he's still nursing the injury. But through that nation tomorrow, let's just lock in, watch our guys play, and tomorrow is gonna be really important with the QBs. I just know Rattler, man, you gotta be aggressive this game, man. You gotta show either you gonna be scrambling with your feet or you gotta be aggressive this game. Tyler Shuck, you gotta be aggressive, man. Be more aggressive and may the best man win. No disrespect to nobody. So, like I said, Who That Nation, man, you guys please like, subscribe, follow the page. I see somebody in the building. Shout out to Jason Sight said, Jerry G, my dude, I'm ready for tomorrow. Shout out to Jason Sights. Man, I'm ready for the game tomorrow too, fam. I'm ready for the game tomorrow. We definitely gonna get to see a lot, and hopefully, we'll be able to get a decision made on our QB. But I just know Spencer gotta have a, regardless of how he been looking in practice. Like I said, Spencer has been balling out in practice. It's been drills and stuff where he going 8 for 8, and there's a few practices Nick had pointed out that he completed every pass. All that stuff sounds good, man. All is good. But I'm telling you, if you play the same way you done last week and should go out there and tossing around some good explosive plays, then that's gonna be the competition for you. And if that's the case, I would say Rattler still he still remain on the team, be a backup. And then if Shuck is struggling, then you just make that switch and give Rattler another chance. But you don't try to thug it out through the season with Shuck, because Shuck, he's a rookie. He might need more time, even though y'all say he NFL ready and everything. So we'll see who that nation. We'll see. But I'm excited for tomorrow. You guys lock in, man. And we're gonna have us a ride tomorrow. Who that nation? For the last time, man, you guys like, subscribe, follow the page. Um, the recap show, it's either gonna be tomorrow or Monday night. It's gonna be one of the two. I have a long working shift tomorrow. I will be catching the game while I'm at work, so I that's no issue with that. But I don't know how things is gonna go when I get off work, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough time to do the post game show tomorrow, or I might. If I don't, I promise you I will be on Monday night unless something personal just happened and get in the way. But if not, I would definitely be on tomorrow or Monday. Tomorrow or Monday latest. Who that nation? Let's go eat them more. This the host CB and I'm out. Who that?